Good rising, brethren. This is Big Judah coming to you guys from California. Before I begin, give all praises to the Most High Yahweh. Acknowledgement to the earthly mother. Who is wisdom? Who is the Holy Spirit? Acknowledgement to Yahushai. Prayer to the Most High blesses this lesson this evening. Gives more knowledge and understanding of the events of the past in order to understand the events that are currently happening on the earth. So we get a much better understanding of the things that are soon to come on the earth. Rather than I was going to talk about some prophecy that I think is being overlooked by many. We know that the prophecy is being overlooked by the other nations because they have no idea what's going on. But even in the Hebrew community and what's going on with this plague right now and who the plague is targeting at this point, we're going to go ahead and go into the Old Testament pseudepigrapha. And see, this just pretty much shows you why the other books are so important. The other nations did not want you to understand what was happening right now. They don't want you to see what the Most High is doing to them. They've gone out of their way to hide the fact that this destruction is coming for them, is taking them down, is sweeping a certain group of people first off the land. Let's take a look here at the apocalypse of Abraham. There's just so much information in here. And the Most High wants certain things highlighted, as he's bringing forth these judgments. And I'm seeing these judgments on a personal level. I'm sure a lot of you guys are as well. So let's talk about this really fast. We're going to read some of this one first paragraph here. Before the age of justice starts to grow. So remember, it's all about us growing, remember? And as we grow, then this age of justice is growing. So again, it's all tied into the growth process of our people. And if we stay stagnant, the other nations are able to stay here. And they're able to control our lands and our resources. But right here, before the age of justice starts to grow, my judgment will come upon the heathen who have acted wickedly through the people of your seed. Okay? So they've acted wickedly with the two themselves as well as with the 2/3. Okay? It says, our seed who have been set apart for me. In those days, I will bring upon all earthly creation 10 plagues through evil and disease and the groaning of the bitterness of their souls. Now you hear that groaning of the bitterness, okay, of their souls right now. It's being manifested right now as you can hear them complaining about how bad, you're going to hear about it all night, how bad 2020's been. How it's just been absolutely horrible. 2020 has been the worst year. They're groaning because for 9 months, they've been, inconvenienced. But to them, they'll say they've been, oppressed. This is their oppression, not being able to do whatever the hell it is that they've been wanting to do. Okay? So again, in those days, I will bring upon all earthly creation 10 plagues through evil and disease and the groaning of the bitterness of their souls. Such will I bring upon the generations of those who are on it. Why is he doing it? Out of anger and corruption of their creation, with which they provoke me. And this is one of the main parts right here. And then from your seed will be left the righteous men in their number, protected by me, who strive in the glory of my name toward the place prepared beforehand for them, which you saw deserted in the picture. Main part right here. And then from your seed will be left the righteous men in their number, protected by me. The Most High is attacking the other nations, but in particular, he's attacking their men. Have you not noticed that the plague attacks men more than women? For some reason, which they don't know, the plague seems to be attacking men more than women. And like, they'll get, if a whole household gets the plague, many times the women will be better. They'll be okay. It might affect them, but it won't affect them as bad as the men. And a lot of the men will end up going into the hospital and never coming out. Or the plague will affect them much worse, than it does the women. This was something that's been prophesied. So just because, the doctors will always say, well, we don't know why this is happening. Well, we're going to help you out. It's happening because it's a plague to weaken the other nations, to kill off their men, just like they did with us. They didn't tell us the same thing, about, they haven't told us about like how the plague affected, the natives predominantly, I'm sure predominantly the men. Why was that? To make them weaker. It leaves the women, just like it did with us. We were the main fighting force when the Spaniards got here. They came into Tenochtitlan. They ended up being forced out by predominantly the men and the fighters. And then they were able to come back and take over the land much easier because the men were swept off the land first. So now take a look at today. You have a plague that's going worldwide. And for some strange reason, it seems to be hitting the men worse than the women. And I've seen this personally in my own life, where I'll see family members, like many members of families will get it, but many times the women will recover, and then the men will get worse, and the men will end up dying off. Now, if you've seen a plague around you, just look and see if that's exactly what you see happening. If that's the pattern that you see. I'm absolutely sure that's exactly what you're going to see. Because that was what the Most High said was going to happen. So again, right there. And then from your seed will be left the righteous men in their number, protected by me, who strive in the glory of my name toward the place prepared beforehand for them. So these are going to be the men that are in the truth that the Most High is protecting. It's open game for everyone else. It's open game for anyone else. All these men who seem to think that life's a joke, everything is about having fun. It's not about spending time actually studying and preparing your family for what's to come. See, that's the man's responsibility, to teach his family, to teach his wife. Okay? The truth. That's the main point. And if all of you men are mainly you're just worried about, hey, video games, sports, basketball season, football season, and not leading your kids and your wife or anybody else, I said the Most High, it's open game on you for the Most High now. And there's going to be a whole lot of women who are going to be left, stranded with no man, no understanding, no direction, just like our women were. That's exactly what happened with our women. They split it up. They got the men away from the women. That's how society's been set up, to keep the men away from the women, to keep the men from giving direction, to keep these men in the society dumbed down and not able to lead. Because if you're not able to lead your family, then what good are you? And that's why the Most High is sweeping many of the men off the lands right now. And that's worldwide. They did it to us by destroying our families, our family unit, by separating the men from the women. So would it not make sense that the Most High would do exactly the same thing to them? So a big reset will be resetting these families, in order for them to get the truth, in order for these children to get the truth, the ones that the Most High, sets apart, to do that. But if you keep looking, like I said, it all starts to make a lot of sense as to what you're seeing. So you're going to notice, if you haven't noticed it already, that a lot of times the women will recover. from the plague, but a lot of the men will not. And we all know that the Most High is in charge of everything. So he's the one that's, pretty much calling these, pretty much destroying these men, because they refused to do what they were sent here to do. And that's exactly how they destroyed our family units. So he's doing and it would make sense, he would do exactly the same thing to the other nations by destroying their family units, exactly the same way they destroyed ours. So it's in the scriptures. It's just in the scriptures that they've hidden. It's in the books that they hidden, because they don't want you to realize, when you're getting spanked and you're getting beat, you don't want people to see that, because Esau is very proud. The other nations are very proud. They don't want you to realize that this is the Most High who is taking them down. And the same way that they took our nation down, he's doing exactly the same thing to them. So let's read that part again. And then from your seed will be left the righteous men in their number, protected by them, who strive in the glory of my name, toward the place prepared beforehand for them. When you saw the deserted in the picture, which you saw deserted in the picture, and they will live, being affirmed by the sacrifices and the gifts of justice and truth in the age of justice. And they will rejoice forever in me, and they will destroy those who have destroyed them. And they will rebuke those who have rebuked them through their mockery, and they will spit in their faces. So what you're seeing in prophecy is this is exactly what's happening right now. The Most High is sweeping off many of these wicked men, and you're off the lands. And then he's talking about he's going to raise up his men to destroy the ones that destroyed them. Let's finish this up. Those rebuked by me, when they are to see me rejoicing with my people, for those who rejoice and receive the truly return to me. Receive and truly return to me. See, Abraham, what you have seen. Hear what you have heard. Know that you have known. Go to your inheritance, and behold, I am with you forever. So there's supposed to be, this is a quick recap. There's a plague. The plague comes. The plague is destroying many of the men, weakening their nations, weakening their people. Then the Most High raises up his men after he weakens the other nations, and then they destroy the people who destroyed them. So by looking at the news and looking what's going on and just looking at what you see the Most High that these prophecies are being fulfilled right before our eyes. And I'm sure you see this pattern going on right around you. So when you look into these other books, you get more understanding of what is happening today. You get a more understanding of how the Most High is moving. He wants us to know. He wants us to be able to see what's going on, and he wants us to bring it out to the other people so they can see. If they want the truth of what's really going on, they know where to go. He must have given the opportunity to be able to cleave to the Most High and to cleave to his people for the truth. All praise is to the Most High Yahweh. Acknowledgement to the earthly mother. Who is wisdom? Who is the Holy Spirit? Acknowledge Yahushai. Shalom.